Okay. Hey, welcome everyone. I don't want to take long because I'm still hungry and I just came from the gym, so I'm super sweaty. You're welcome. Um, Today I want to bring you up to date on some things about money and stuff. For those of you who don't know, on the left side of your screen, if you're on a computer, there's a little dialog box, and if you click that, you can type a message. So, like, if you just want to put a little okey doke or something, okey doke. All right.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so there's Matt just said something as Madeline. Um, or if something goes wrong with your mic, which has happened to Mary a few times, you can always just sort of type your content, type your questions or input into there as well. Just letting you know that that's available to you. Um, Welcome. Today, I have made some executive decisions. Some of them involve new people coming in. Some of them involve our production for the spring and stuff going forward. As you know, I had created a GoFundMe, and we sort of put that out, see if we could raise a couple thousand. And I really needed to give Sam Ross at Windmill Art Center, I needed to give him a definite by this past weekend. And so I wrote to him and said, we don't have it. We can't move forward. So as of right now, I've released Sam and the space in April. I've also released Kaylee Michael, who's going to come in and kind of do a quick and dirty stage management. You know, we love her. I said, by all means, go make more money somewhere else. So now I know that a couple of you are new and you're like, oh my gosh, is this terrible? I think we're going through a big growing pain right now. The company went from me to 9 people, and then we've gone through 2 pretty major rep productions in like a year and a half, and that's pretty ambitious. Part of what also helped me is Horizon Theater over the weekend, and I sat and looked at it's their 35th anniversary, and I sat and looked at they had a history of how we've done over 35 years, and I'm looking at their first 5 years. They did like 1 or 2 plays a year. Um, they got excited when they came out to 4, and they don't rep, like, so they don't have shows going on top of each other like we have done. So that sort of made me relax about it. And I don't know if you guys remember, Synchronicity went through a real sort of crisis maybe 10, 12 years ago, um, from a similar place. And I feel like we've just hit a place where if we're really going to take this into a really professional direction, which I would like to do, I think we need to reorganize. Some of that stuff we've talked about, like actually building a board that's not just us. Some of that is fundraising. And some of that is also restructuring our identities. Now, Mary and Valea and I guess, was it a month and a half ago, went out. It was the night we were going to meet in January, and then no one could meet. So the 3 of us went out and made a bunch of decisions. No, we just came up with a bunch of ideas that were, I think, pretty useful. Now, does this mean that we're going to completely lie fallow, that Impulse Rep is basically just going to go to sleep for a year or whatever? No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we still do things, but we sort of, instead of focusing on the major productions, we focus on the individual actor-driven projects. So that's the things like we talked about doing a cabaret night. And so it's just a night. We can work with Sam on a great deal on the space. They can serve as fundraisers, but they can also serve as passion projects for each of the individual artists. One thing I'm doing this year, I don't know when, probably soon, now that I'm not doing Purgatorio in April, is I'm going to take an improv, I do improv. We might have an improv night, but I'm going to take a stand-up class, and so I might want to do a stand-up night. 2 or 3, 4 people come in and do 5 minutes. I could probably get the Relapse for one Monday night for that. So things like that, those little one-offs that sort of keep us fulfilled as artists because we're working on things we want to, and but aren't sort of all encompassing, and we don't have to have a major budget to make it happen. And they, as I said, they can serve as fundraisers. Other things I want to do is we need to. Jason is trying to join us. He's checking his email now. Thank you. We need some grants. And we don't need much. It takes about, and this can waver somewhat, a fairly stripped down 2-play rep with a big cast like we've done in the past takes about $5,000. Which, when you think of how big it is not that much. If we could somehow put $10,000 in the bank in the next year, that gives us a season of reserve and a season to work with, and then we can continue to fundraise. And that's our bare minimum. So, I mean, I would be certainly happier at $20,000. But that's not a lot. I mean, when you consider that a lot of theaters in town are operating on multi-million-dollar budgets, or certainly hundreds of thousands of dollars. The trick is, I think we need to really turn our focus to development and fundraising in other ways. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Go.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Have we hit the 3 years of existence as a nonprofit yet?
No.
When does that arrive?
What year is this? We just passed 2 years.
Okay.
It's Valentine's Day is our birthday, and it's 2017.
But we're at 2 years.
So we're right at 2 years.
Okay. There are various limits of when you can start applying for different grants.
Right, and I know that some are 3, but some are 2. So I think we sort of find those, nail them down.
Yeah.
And really start going after them. So that was kind of the big announcement tonight. Any other questions? Shut up, Kara.
As far as like the director of Purgatorio, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I get it. And I think that you've made the right decision.
I can see Matt's mouth moving, but I can't hear anything.
Can everyone hear Matt? I can.
I can hear Matt.
Dang.
Mary, why is your computer terrible?
Probably because it's 27 years.
You heard him!
It's just ancient, and it's tired.
So am I!
Mm-hmm.
No, what I was saying was, can you hear me now, Mary? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Mary, you can hear me?
Mary, can you hear me?
Mary,
I can hear you,
Oh,
and I can hear some of Matt.
Gotcha. So
It's cutting in and out.
something in the connection twixt your two.
Okay, so, message to Mary. I'm cool with the Purgatorio decision.
I'm not good at
Oh, you're
I'm not a good transcriptionist.
typing it?
That's okay. A summary at the end will do.
I was trying to do it on my phone, but I don't know how to find it on my actual phone.
The typing thing,
Yeah.
I don't know where it is on the phone.
But it will be on the recording, and all I'm telling you is all I'm typing is what Matt's saying, so Mary can hear it or understand it.
It's all good.
Okay. Anything else? You're cool with the decision? Other
Yes.
thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad. I mean, I'm disappointed because I want to do it. But here's an interesting point I made to Mary on Saturday. Was that the next season that we do? We've done politics, we've done sex, gender, battle of the sexes stuff, and the next season I want to do God, and very broadly, it can be spirituality. We could do Corpus Christi. We could do Faust. I want to do Buckeye. We'll see. We could do. I don't know what we. So take it how you will. And I think it would be okay if the pieces are in conversation with each other, that they're taking different angles and yeah. So very broadly, God, spirit, however you want to do that. And
Would you like to start suggesting titles at all?
I think we could all make, like, if everybody wanted to come up with 5, like 3 to 5 titles that fit the idea of something about the human search for the divine. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't care. Personally,
Okay.
I don't care. And then we can discuss them. Might not be a bad idea. But I thought to Matt and to Brian and for myself, Purgatorio, as well as it fits into the gender stuff, it also fits right into the God stuff.
Yep.
So, I mean, these two people are basically torturing each other in the afterlife. And so when I say God broadly, it could be the afterlife. And we've talked about, in the play Purgatorio, frequently the two people refer to a camera and they say, they are watching us. So God is they, whatever, a committee, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. So I don't want to give up on Purgatorio, but I am going to have to tell Samuel French that we're going to give up the rights for now, and then we can reapply at another time. Hope we get them. Because I love the play. It's so good. So fun.
Yeah, great play. You guys are doing really good work on it, too.
Well, and I was really enjoying that, too. And if you guys ever want to just get together and have a few drinks and work on Purgatorio, I'm down.
You might as well just rehearse it as long as you feel like.
Yeah.
Why not?
We had, I don't know, what, 6-7 hours at least of really solid table work.
Mm-hmm.
We were ready to get on our feet. And I understand why we're not. I mean, it makes sense. But just for those of you that weren't in the room, we did really good work. And Kira and Robert had like really fantastic attacks on the rolls. And the show is, whenever we do it, it's going to be really good.
Yeah,
Especially with all this extra rehearsal time.
We have no excuse but to be perfection.
Yeah.
So I look forward to doing that. We aren't going to be able to do it right now. My goal is to be in a fairly steady place in 9 to 12 months in terms of the financials. Again, that doesn't mean we wait that long to do stuff. So again, you want to do maybe we'll do a read of Purgatorio and just throw it in front of people, and I don't know. Or maybe a couple of plays or a couple of scenes from plays. Like, here's some things we're thinking about doing and get some feedback from our audience. I don't know.
Yeah, that was sort of a question I had. What that possibility of doing some readings and inviting people with the idea of give us your feedback on this play. Do you want to see it produced? That sort of.
I agree. But it could also be Nikki's night of interpretive dance, because we know she likes that. Which you might. That would be awesome, by the way. She's like,
Don't tempt me.
So I'm not seeing Jason. Any further word from him, Matt?
No, I mean, he replied to the group text, and
Okay.
I said, we're still on. Just check your email.
Okay. I will invite him again in just a minute if I need to. I also, this is not really the best environment to do it, but as I mentioned, we invited some folks to come join us. The wonderful director and actress Dina Shadwell, who's on your share, probably, who has an amazing resume and is one of the smartest, coolest people I've ever met. Also, Inyuki Roberts, who you may know from last season, has agreed to come on board and hang out with us and bring her energy and talents. Also, Andre Eaton Jr., I should say, also from last season, has joined us. I also invited, you guys may remember Emily Nedvedek. She's got a lot going on right now. So she's asked a couple of questions in terms of like, can I do this and this and this and still be part of it, because she may be out of state for a while. I was like, sure, this is how we meet a lot. Is this? So if you can meet, if you have a computer or a phone, yes. But she expects, if everything works out for her, she might be gone for as much as 6 months and then would be back, so she could sort of join us for the second half of the season. I also invited Melanie Long, who was, we sort of had slated to do the other play if we were going to do a 2-show rep in the spring. And she was like, she has 2 like teenagers, and one of them is special needs. And her husband, you may know Harrison Long, the actor, is a dean in the College of the Arts at Kennesaw. So he's like on campus 24 hours a day. She's like, I just can't do it right now. She's like, give me 5 years. And I was like, call me anytime. And she was like, we'll write you a check. And I was like, yes, that would be great. So those are the folks that we... What's that?
That's just as helpful.
Yes. I mean, honestly. I do want to say that due to personal life stuff, both, and it's not serious, it's Jess and Renee are needing to take a step back. So we're going to pull them out of the company for now. And I told both of them, when you're ready, let us know and we'll find a place for you. Even if that means we have to, we can hire them, but we need to wait half a season to put them in or whatever. But we'll discuss that as a group when it happens. The good news, the reason they're stepping back, Jess is traveling like all over the world for a couple months. I know.
Rough life.
I know. I gotta get me one of them pilots. So many jokes. Okay, stop. And Renee, wonderful news, has gotten a job at Delta also as a flight attendant. And so, for the next, it's a few more weeks before she goes into her training, and then for 8 weeks she doesn't have a life outside of Delta. And then after that, she doesn't know what her life will be, because first year as a flight attendant, you have to fly when they say. And then after that, it's the best job in the world. So I'm really pleased for her, and I know that will help her personally, professionally, and everything. So it might be a year before we see her again, but she's sad about that. But she also it's a great thing. I'm a little jealous, to be honest. Not that I've ever applied to be a flight. I would be the worst flight attendant.
It would be easier to meet a pilot if you were a flight attendant.
So many jokes. Okay. So what I will say, for those of you who are here now or those of you watching, please just update me as to what your life situation is as we move to this sort of new phase where we're going to be in development and fundraising mode. If you need more of something, less of something, you can only do this or that, just let me know. Which brings me to my other thing that I really want to set down tonight, and that is I would like to create a meeting schedule and put it on a calendar and make it sacred. Understanding that in the course of a year, you may miss a couple. Couple. Flipping you off in England. Due to family stuff, or, you got a movie out of town or whatever. But a lot of it, again, can be in this environment. So we can, if you're free during those evenings, we can really make it whenever. My proposal is that it's basically this night every month henceforward. So
Third Monday.
This is the third Monday of the month.
Okay.
We'll say 7 to 10, but we'll never, sometimes we have to go that long, but never usually more than 2 hours. Anyone want to pause it no, it needs to be first Monday or whatever?
I have a first and second Mondays thing already, so third is good.
Okay. Do I hear fourth?
So, for example, the next one would be March 17th. Is that right?
Hold on. 18th is Monday.
Oh, yeah, Monday. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, cool.
And Kara,
Yes.
I'm guessing you have found that Monday is the best night of the week to do something like this.
I'm throwing it out there because that's what we've used, and it's typically most people's dark night in theater. If you have a standing Monday obligation, now's the time.
Well, I do, but it has some flexibility.
Mhm.
I just wanted to see if I get that Monday would be the best night for something like this. So,
The other decent options are Sunday night at the 7 to 10, or like Saturday during the day, which is harder for. I know it's harder for me. It's probably harder for Matt with kids.
Yeah, and I mean, but also, what about Tuesday night? Because, I mean, Monday is usually our dark night, but not
Most
speaking for
theaters.
all of us, but the majority of us are, if you're not at the Alliance or the Aurora, you got Tuesday night off too. So,
I'm open.
I mean, I am too. So that's another option.
Tuesday would work for me too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer that if that's workable for others.
I think where it will get us is when people are in rehearsal.
Yeah.
Where they'll have Monday night off and then Tuesday night they're back on to rehearsal. Why don't we do a doodle and see if we can get votes from everybody and just see if there's kind of a win that appeases most people most of the time. So I'm looking at third Monday of the month or third Tuesday of the month.
And what if it's
Go ahead.
kind of thing where, would it be too complicated to check in every month to say, hey, this month, can we all meet Tuesday? And if not, then maybe Monday, we could occasional Monday?
It's not, but I'm hoping that everyone, I feel like we sort of plan by the seat of our pants an awful lot. So what I'm hoping to do is get that, I'm clearing my calendar on this day.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you won't get copious reminders, because I'll put everyone into the Google Calendar and set it to auto remind you. So Monday and Tuesday are on the table. Third of the month, both times. Do we want to add Sunday, or are we happier having Sundays off after the matinees?
I would be open for Sunday if that's better for everybody.
Yeah, as long as it's evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm thinking an online situation where we're all in our jammies is fine. Okay, I'll put that on there as a choice, and ask everyone to reply. Okay, that was the other thing. So once I kind of get a quorum, a majority on that, not quorum, majority on that, I'll just put it in the calendar and basically invite everybody, and Google will say, do you want us to put this in your iCal or your Google Calendar or whatever you have. And then I will ask that, you try to hold that as sacred space, even if it's like, yes, you've signed on to do the show, and you just make the ask, like, do I have to miss, can I miss this Monday rehearsal or whatever it is? And we'll see how it goes. Okay, what else? What other questions? That's really kind of all I wanted to talk about right now. And then send out some information so that when we meet next month, we can talk about things like maybe splitting up into committees and giving people, teams, specific tasks. We talked about maybe doing 3 to 5 plays about God. And if you have ideas about one-nighters that we could do over the next year while we're doing this other work, maybe bring those too. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And one-nighters. Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to say for now. Does anybody else have anything they want to discuss?
Shall I throw a shameless self-promotion in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the reason that Brian and Andre aren't on this call is because they're in rehearsal
Mhm.
for a 6-person Macbeth, which I am costuming.
Awesome.
We all might be crazy. And when I say it's a 6-person Macbeth, what I actually mean is Lady Mac and Mac don't really ever play any other characters themselves, so it's really more like a 4-person Macbeth.
Wow.
And it's kind of insane.
But how many characters? All the characters?
Most of the characters, they collapsed all the lords into just one,
Well, that's nice.
and
Are there 3 witches?
got rid of Old Seaward. I'm not really sure who's doing Old Seaward's lines, to be honest. And Macduff. Anyway, point being, it's going to be nuts. And it runs in late March. And
Right.
everyone should go.
Mhm. That's right. Do you know when it opens, what the opening date is? It's Folding Chair Theater.
It is. It is the 3rd weekend of March.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact date, but I have them written down in a different room.
And this is Shakespeare on Draft?
Folding Chair,
Folding Chair, that's right.
which is Marcus Gadould and what's his wife's name?
Lisa Blankenship.
Lisa Blankenship. Thank you. I always forget. She's Lady M. All right. Anybody got anything else? Great. Y'all want to get off here? I do.
Now that you want to get off here?
Go do something else with your night. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me either at Kara or at info@ImpulseRep or at ImpulseRep@gmail. They all come to my phone. So feel free. All right. Thank you for being here, everyone. Good night.
All right. Love you guys. Night.
Good night.
Love you.
Bye.
How do I get out of here? Oh.